Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
The new Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, says the decision to leave the European Union has had a chilling effect on the UK economy, but the government will do whatever's needed to restore confidence. The Bank of England has surprised many by keeping interest rates on hold. A cut had been widely expected in a bid to boost the economy, as our economics editor, Kamal Ahmed, reports.
He was the future once. George Osborne, an austerity budget after austerity budget, a plan that has been religiously followed for 6 years. Today, the new man, Philip Hammond, and a change of tone. Out goes the language of cuts and deficits, in comes the language of reassurance and an economy that works, apparently, for everyone. The referendum, he admitted, had created a short-term shock.
Our job now is to reassure markets, reassure investors, reassure businesses about the future of this country, set out a clear plan about where we're going, how we're taking forward our negotiation with the European Union, restoring that confidence as quickly as possible, and that's what we intend to do.
The question on everyone's lips, what is Philip Hammond's agenda? On taxes, he has signalled a keenness there should be no increases. On borrowing, the deficit reduction target has been abandoned. And on trade with Europe, Mr. Hammond insisted Britain was still open for business. Big decisions are ready for takeoff. On airport expansion, Mr. Hammond stayed neutral on a decision that has faced years of delays. On a new nuclear power station at Hinkley Point, the Chancellor was warmer, backing the project.
There is no better signal of being open for business at the moment than infrastructure spending, and we would like to see the aviation capacity recommendations now taken forward. The Davis Commission recommended Heathrow, now just get on with it. The other big project that we would love to see taken forward is HS2. It puts a spine up the middle of the country and also brings growth to regions of the UK, so let's get on with it.
Not getting on with it, the Bank of England, which held interest rates at 0.5% despite worries that the economy is slowing. The Bank of England certainly surprised the markets and a lot of economists when they said today they wouldn't be cutting interest rates to help stimulate the economy. Well, not yet anyway. And I think that makes an important point. That it's not the governor of this place who is most vital when it comes to the direction of travel for the UK economy. That job is down to the new Prime Minister, the new Chancellor. Their policies will play a much more significant role. We won't know those details until the autumn statement, and that's months away. Economists say speed is now of the essence.
Businesses are waiting for the government to provide some clarity on how it is going to support the economy, how it is going to affect their plans, and waiting until the autumn statement may be a bit too long.
The bank did warn the housing market and consumer confidence have suffered since June the 23rd and said it was ready to cut interest rates next month if necessary. Whether it feels the need may depend in part on how far Mr. Hammond is keeping his side of the bargain on boosting Britain's economy. Kamal Ahmed, BBC News.
Well, as we've heard, both the bank and the Chancellor have warned about the adverse effect the Brexit vote could have on the economy. The boss of the high street retailer Next, Lord Wolfson, who backed leaving the EU, has told the BBC he won't be cutting investment. Other businesses say they're planning to cut back production, as our business editor Simon Jack reports from Stoke-on-Trent.
After the intense heat of the European referendum, no city in the UK emerged with more hardened resolve than Stoke-on-Trent. 70% of voters wanted a break with the European Union. That level of certainty at the ballot box has led to uncertainty for one of its most famous businesses. Pottery maker Portmeirion has said it will cut production by 18% this year.
It's the uncertainty within the consumer's mind which is making the retailers think, how much stock should we order? And with the retailers considering how much stock to order, we have to be very careful that we don't just make stock to add it to stock. We're having to pull back just a little bit on our production levels.
Not all retailers are cautious. One of the UK's very biggest says concerns over consumer confidence are overdone.
I think, as with all these things, they're sort of always slightly overdone in the media, and I think most people are sort of taking a calm look at it. I suspect the devaluation of the pound will be much more of a boost to British manufacturing than people are expecting.
So, who is right? Is it business as usual, or are there signs of trouble ahead? The Bank of England has described a vote to leave as a potential economic trauma. You might think of it as a punch on the nose, which hasn't started hurting yet. And some would say the governor has been acting and talking as if an economic downturn is imminent or even underway. And yet 70% of people here in Stoke got exactly what they wanted. And many will see this as a reason for optimism rather than concern.
I did vote to stay in, but obviously with the majority vote voting to vote out, there's nothing we can do now. So we just have to sit back and just see what happens, really.
Get on with it?
Yeah.
I think it is what it is. People have spoken, so let's just try and jump at the opportunity to make the best of it.
Come back in 12 months and see, and we'll be there.
Where will we be?
Higher up. Better.
So you're confident we'll be better off?
I voted to come out, and I can't wait for it to happen.
There's no test of confidence quite like buying a house. And while surveys out today point to slowing activity, particularly in the southeast, agents here aren't seeing that.
Business is good, no significant difference post-Brexit. If anything, we've noticed actually a number of applicants have actually increased. Viewings are slightly down, but we would expect that during the holiday time anyway.
Here in the Potteries, people have pinned their hopes on a bright future after Brexit. It will be weeks, months, even years before we'll know whether that confidence was justified. Simon Jack, BBC News, Stoke-on-Trent.
I've been getting away with